I know a lot about Bears. The best way to bet the NFL is win totals. In this win projection series, you'll get to see the logic behind Big Ryan the Fat Guy's win total projections and how you can win whatever contest you decide to enter for the 2018 NFL season. Fat Guy, talk about the Bears' 5-11 season in 2017.
They had a coach, John Fox, that's been fired and replaced. That season was kind of underwhelming. The defense played decent, but they did have a disastrous start under Mike Glennon. And then they had a rookie quarterback who was very, very limited, both in strengths, skills, and playbook. So you can only expect so much. They also had a kind of a one-dimensional running game. Jordan Howard did really well, though, and I did like that. And Tariq Cohen turned out to be a nice surprise. Not for us, but for most other people.
So like you said, John Fox is out at head coach. Matt Nagy is in. Nagy has spent his coaching career under Andy Reid, most recently as the Chiefs offensive coordinator. Fat Guy, your thoughts on Nagy?
Anyone under Andy Reid seems to be successful, like Doug Peterson, for instance. Andy Reid is really an offensive guru. Guru's thrown around as a football buzzword a lot, but I really feel that way about Andy Reid. He does have some, let's say, timing issues with how he calls the ends of games. But I mean, he's still a quality coach all around. He's maybe the best non-Super Bowl winning coach in the league. So Matt Nagy being an extension of him, it means good things for the Bears in theory.
This will be Mark Helfrich's first season as the Bears offensive coordinator. He was the ex-Oregon head coach. Fat Guy, any thoughts?
Helfrich. That was tough to get through. I'll give you that one. The Oregon Ducks are famed for having high-flying offenses. Ever since Chip Kelly kind of took over as a coach and brought the Oregon Ducks into mainstream focus, let's say. If you're coming from Oregon, you're probably going to be a little bit more creative than what they have in the NFL. It's a stealing league, and they steal from the college ranks first before they steal from each other.
It sounds like they have their ducks in a row.
That's one way of putting it.
At defensive coordinator, Vic Fangio is back for his 4th season. Fat Guy, what do you think about Vic Fangio as the Bears defensive coordinator?
Well, what does it tell you if there's a revolving door of coaches and one guy staying back? That's because Vic Fangio, he's a guy who really has his ducks in a row. He coached a defense of some of those strong defensive 49ers teams that made the Super Bowl, that made multiple NFC championships. I really like Vic Fangio, and this defense has improved. So I'm kind of excited to see what the Bears unroll. But there's still a lot of holes on this roster, so I ain't going to crown their asses yet, Denny Green.
There are a lot of holes on this roster, but a couple of additions they made. First, at quarterback, they added Chase Daniel.
Chase Daniel's a career backup, but he's the highest paid backup every year, it seems. Chase Daniel spent time with the Chiefs under Andy Reid and the Saints under Sean Payton and the Eagles under Doug Peterson. There's a reason that he's bouncing around to these teams and getting paid a lot. It's because he's pretty decent. To me, he could even win the starting job. I mean, you have Mitchell Trubisky, but I wasn't as impressed last year, and Chase Daniel really has a lot of experience under his belt, despite not having that many league starts, oddly enough.
At wide receiver, they added Allen Robinson as well as Taylor Gabriel.
A-Rob from the Jags turned the corner and then he got injured. So I'm kind of interested to see what he looks like coming back off an ACL injury. Taylor Gabriel was a Cleveland Browns retread who had a lot of success with the Atlanta Falcons, but not enough to stay on the roster. I'm not as excited for Taylor Gabriel, but I really want to see how Allen Robinson fits into this offensive system.
Another pass catcher they added was tight end Trey Burton.
Tight end quarterback Trey Burton with an excellent pass to Nick Foles in the Philly special at the end of the half during the Super Bowl. Trey Burton's a decent tight end. It's just really hard to afford him when you have that many players in the Philadelphia roster. So this could be a nice pickup for the Bears. Adam Shaheen, your job is in question.
And on the defensive side of the ball, only one real big pickup on free agency, and that was Aaron Lynch, the outside linebacker from San Francisco.
I'd hardly call it a big pickup. It's a plug and play. I mean, it is what it is.
We also have to mention inside linebacker Roquan Smith getting picked in the first round.
You have to mention that. This is really exciting. Roquan Smith, he's just got like really great closing speed. The one thing I didn't like was when I watched some of his tape, he was getting blown up when he had to play run defense. So if he doesn't have a clear eyesight towards a running back or the quarterback, he's very susceptible to getting overpowered by offensive linemen. But with that type of athleticism, I'm sure they'll be able to put him into spots where he can really excel.
Especially with Fangio as the defensive coordinator. He's done an excellent job with inside linebackers.
Inside linebackers, outside linebackers. When Aldon Smith was a name, because Aldon Smith really was good before, getting drunk every day got in the way. He was a stalwart on the 49ers defense. So I'm pretty excited for Roquan Smith. I want to see how they use him.
Alden Smith used to redline on trees on the field and off the field.
That is completely true.
Let's look at who's gone on that team. Quarterback Mike Glennon.
Chicken Little Mike Glennon. No big deal. It didn't work out. After getting a whole bunch of money for really only playing a few games in 1 year. But what can I say? It didn't work out. Time to move on.
Ex-Steeler outcast Marcus Whedon.
The guy you always watch in preseason and go, hey, he's going to be pretty good in fantasy. Then you draft him in the 15th round. And then you're pissed off for 10 weeks he sat on your bench. So I don't expect Marcus Wheaton to make a big negative impact on the Bears not having him.
Here's two big losses on that defense at outside linebacker Pernell McPhee as well as Willie Young.
Willie Young wasn't necessarily linebacker. He kind of played a hybrid position. And that's also the reason why you bring in Aaron Lynch, because you have to fill those roles. I don't know why they let go of McPhee. Pernell McPhee's pretty good. I'm kind of curious at that release. There could be more to it, but he's also older, so his body could be breaking down.
And at safety and corner, they've taken away Marcus Cooper and Quinton Demps.
Again, these are just average players, so we'll see what kind of impact they play. It really depends on how Vic Fangio uses them.
Let's quickly go over the Bears roster at quarterback. Of course, they have Mitch Trubisky and Chase Daniel.
And like I said, I'm not a huge fan of Mitchell Trubisky, but it was his first year, so I'm going to have to give him some rope here and see how he does. He's also in a new offensive system, and this could be kind of an exciting offensive system, kind of like Sean McVay blew us away. Matt Nagy's kind of a younger guy. It feels like he's putting a younger, fresh spin on football around him, so I'm kind of hoping that they are exciting like the Rams were, but I'm not holding my breath.
And at running back, they have a 1-2 punch that we really like, Jordan Howard and Tariq Cohen.
Oh, I love Howard. I love Cohen. I think Cohen is going to be the one to look out for. Now, if you look at the Chiefs' past teams that Matt Nagy was part of the offense of, think of how they used Tyreek Hill and Kareem Hunt and those body sizes. Tariq Cohen kind of fits the mold, so I could see him having snaps at wide receiver, at running back, playing an H-back format with him and Howard. I think Cohen's going to get used a lot around the field, and this is going to be a really good pickup for fantasy. And plus, he'll be a later round pick. It's not going to be a very expensive risk, so look out for Cohen this year.
And at receiver, they have Allen Robinson, Kevin White, Taylor Gabriel, second-round pick Anthony Miller, as well as Josh Bellamy.
Kevin White is the biggest disappointment of that year's draft. He has shown nothing. He's got hurt a bunch of times, but a fractured tibia, and he's out an entire year. Bruised shin, some BS like that. I'm not going to give Kevin White the benefit of the doubt. Everyone wants to do that kind of stuff with players. They put this high ceiling. The basement is low, and that's where he belongs. The only strong receiver on that group is Allen Robinson and another guy coming off injury. So I'm skeptical about this group, and rightfully so.
Offensive line from left to right, we have Charles Leno Jr., Bradley Sowell, Cody Whitehair, Kyle Long, and Bobby Massey.
Kyle Long's really the only household name in there. Of course, son of Howie Long, Hall of Fame defensive end for the Oakland Raiders. Kyle Long's a good player. Cody Whitehair played really well last year. The other guys are, I'm going to just say average. And it's going to be tough in this offense after everything I just mentioned.
And at tight end, they have Trey Burton and Deion Sims.
I like that tight end grouping. But again, this isn't going to be able to carry this offense. They can only be so creative. So I really have to see the system and how it works because the pieces are missing. That's for sure.
In a 3-4 defense on the D-line, they have Akeem Hicks, Eddie Goldman, Jonathan Bullard, John Jenkins, and then a bunch of other Jags.
Yeah, and a bunch of other guys. I was a fan of Eddie Goldman coming out of the draft. We both are. Hicks can play, but again, this is an underwhelming group. It really is. I want to see how well they can do with Vic Fangio again, but I'm skeptical.
At linebacker, though, they're strong. They've got Aaron Lynch, most importantly, Leonard Floyd, Roquan Smith, Danny Trevathan, Sam Acho. These are some good players.
They can all play, pretty much. I mean, I'm making an assumption on Roquan Smith, but since they're already kind of deep at linebacker, I mean, deep is relatively speaking, there's going to be options on how to use Roquan Smith effectively, so I'm excited on how they're going to use that group. Floyd can be a menace coming off the end. He's got a lot left to be desired for the rest of his game, but I do like this grouping.
At corner, they got Kyle Fuller, Prince Amukamara, Bryce Callahan, as well as Marcus Cooper.
Bryce, don't call me Randy Callahan. I think Prince Amukamara is an underrated cornerback because he never really seems to get paid, but he seems to start all the time, even though he's played for a bunch of different teams. Kyle Fuller got the money. I mean, Green Bay tried to poach him, but he got paid, and there's a reason for it because he's decent. He was another first-round cornerback. Adrian Amos is alright as well.
And at the other safety spot, they have Eddie Jackson.
Eddie Jackson, it's a good name, and I think that's about all it is.
So where's the strength of this roster?
Linebacker on defense, running back on offense. It is a pretty shallow roster, though. They have too many holes to fill. There's not a bulk of talent on this team, unfortunately. We'll see if some creative coaching can at least give them some success.
And where's the biggest weakness?
Quarterback is a question mark for me. It is weak. Also, I'd like them to be better up front. I'd like their front three to pull the defense just a little bit better. They need to get some more pressure.
So for the Bears, we have a team grade of a D+ going into the season.
It's a common one, a D+.
Will Big Ryan the Fat Guy take the over, under, or is this a no bet? Currently, you have the Bears winning 6.6 games with their schedule. The over-under has been set at 6.5.
6.5?
6.5. Oy vey. Our projection and the opportunity are even at 6.5 wins. This is an easy no bet.
You're a mensch, Big Rye. It is an easy no bet.
Hit the like button if you agree with Big Ryan the Fat Guy. Give us a comment below if you think I'm stupid, if you think the fat guy's stupid, if you think the fat guy's fat, how much you think the fat guy weighs. Subscribe for more.
Relax here. It's called Big Ryan the Fat Guy. They get it. It's one small guy named Big Rye and one big fat guy.
I told you not to cut me off.